Motorcycle adventure Dirtbike TV, supported proudly by Adventure Spec in the UK, Rally Raid Products, Giant Loop in the United States, Adventure Moto in Australia, Pirelli Tyres, Motul Oils, RK Chains and Australian Adventure Bike magazine.
MADTV viewers, welcome to Adventure News Desk, an exciting new chapter in the short but significant history of MADTV. Headed by Andrew Clubb, editor of Australian Adventure Bike magazine, Adventure News Desk is Clubby's take on all things motorcycle adventure. A veteran motorcycle journalist with oil running through his veins and more than 30 years in the industry, Clubby's opinion counts. So grab a coffee, have a listen and tell us what you think.
G'day adventurers, it's Clubby here again. And how good is this? I must have done something right. I've been invited back, episode number 2 of the MADTV ADV News Desk, and we've got a new setting this time around. This is it, the inner. This is not just the sanctum, it's the inner sanctum of MADTV HQ. It's the MADTV Man Cave, and it's loaded with adventure bike riding goodness. Honda CRF 300 Rally over here, Royal Enfield Himalayan right below me, the mighty Husky 701 just to the side of me there, all sorts of goodies in the background, and no better place to be to bring you the latest from the big wide world of adventure bikes. And this time around, I'm going to kick it off with an expression from a very good friend of mine, millionaire businessman, leader of the free world at one time actually. He had an expression. He put his arm around my shoulder. He said, Clubby, you know there's 3 types of news in this world. There's good news, bad news, then there's fake news, right? Fake news. And today we're starting with some fake news. But is it fake? And that's the $64,000 question that a lot of us have got in our lips right now. The Honda Africa Twin 750, CRF 750L, fact or fiction? That's a really good question. It's a bike that a lot of us are so toey about. It's been rumoured for so long. Honda have got a brace of new 750 parallel twin road-oriented models coming. Naked bike, sports bike, commuter type bike. Why on earth would they not do an adventure bike variant with that new motor? So I hope that this, so far what we've seen about this Africa Twin 750, I'm going to make the call that it's fake. All those video clips you've seen in the last couple of days, the last week or so, just not solid enough. You know, they're not published by any Honda official source. You look at the footage, you know, it's file footage from what I can tell of CRF 450 rallies from Dakar preparations, Baja off-road preparations when they were racing it in the US. It just doesn't seem legit. And of course, what I went to do today, we've got to go to the source. I went to my main man at Honda and I said, hey, when are we riding new Africa Twin 750s out the back of the desert towards, let's just say, Birdsville as a location for us Aussies? And you know what he came back with? This is, and I quote, I'm not going to quote who it's from, but I'm going to quote what they said. Do you know something I don't know, Clubby? Question mark. So yeah, that's from Honda Australia. Nothing else official from any other Honda source in the world, but wow, isn't there a lot of talk about this bike? I just hope it isn't fake news. I hope it's real. I'm calling it fake right now, but I hope it's good news to come and not too far away, that before long we're going to see an Africa Twin 750 and it's going to make some serious competition for the Tenere 700, which has just been such a massive sales success for Yamaha right around the world. Fingers crossed, it's real news, not fake news. Let's talk about a new bike launch. Lots of that happening lately. All brands, all sorts of brands in all sorts of places all around the world. And the one that we're so keen for right here in Australia right now, the new Ducati, the Desert X. We've already had a preview of the bike, a static preview of the bike where we could visit Ducati headquarters in Australia, touch, feel, hear the bike, see it running. Couldn't ride it, but hey, America, they've just launched the bike to the media. And how's this? You'd think a Desert X, yeah, they'd take it somewhere out the, where? Death Valley, wide open spaces, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, a bike called a Desert X, you'd take it there, wouldn't you? Isn't that what it's all about? No. They took the American journos, magazine staff, website editors, took them all up to the top of the Rocky Mountains in Colorado to ride the new Desert X, which couldn't be further removed from a desert environment. And hey, the first reports I've seen are giving the thing 2 thumbs up. Big raps about the new Ducati. It's a big departure from all Ducati's multi-strata heritage, which have been more road-oriented adventure bikes with a little bit of off-road capabilities. They're all giving this one a big rap up there on rocky off-road trails in the Colorado mountains. And I'm thinking, well, hey, if it's working there, it's going to work everywhere else, isn't it? Off-road in technical environments like that. It's going to be a ripper. And the big thing about the Ducati Desert X here in Aussie, it's priced sharp as. It's $24,700 here in Aussie, and that's in our money. So do the calculations for where you are in the world. But just to give you an idea of how that ranks, that is so tight against bikes like the KTM 890 Adventure R and the S, the new Husqvarna Norden 901, even the Africa Twin base model. It's going to give all those bikes a real run for its money. And I can't wait for that bike to get here and for us to riding it. Hopefully it's within about the next 4 to 6 weeks that we'll be able to ride it here in Aussie to get a review together. But yeah, another bike that's been launched lately and we just can't wait to ride when it touches down here in Australia in full volume. There's 2 schools of thoughts about adventure bike riding. You either do it yourself or with your close mates, sort of pack of loners, do your own thing, or you can get involved in what type of riding that's becoming so popular, especially here in Australia, which is organised group rides, but group rides where you muster together a particular breed, a particular brand of passionate adventure bike riders, mate. Yamaha's got it with the Tenere Tragics rides, the Ride ADV rides for Yamaha only guys. They've got a Tenere 700 Rally. There's the big BMW GS Safari and Safari Enduro events as well. KTM have an adventure rally each year here in Australia. And then they've also in recent times started the Husqvarna Trek, which has been going for about 2 or 3 years in Aussie now. I rode it last year, and it was held on the middle north coast of New South Wales. And then this year's event just been staged up in southern and central Queensland, and it's dubbed, the Husky Trek Queensland. The really cool thing about this year's Husky Trek was, well, there are quite a few cool things, of course, but the Norden 901 was part of Husqvarna's adventure bike range, so there were riders there on the new 901 Twin, and then again a stack of Husky 701 riders, including MADTV's very own Darcinator, Dave Darcy, and Nugget. Mate, good old Nugget made an appearance, and the dynamic duo, well, let's just say I had them working while they were there. I said, boys, you've got to do some content for News Desk. You can't just have a high old time, make your normal old feature movie that's going to appear later on the channel. I want some hard-hitting news. And Nugget, I reckon you're the man to get it. And Nugget has delivered. Not only is there some great background footage to the ride, but have a look at these 2 interviews. Nugget sat down with legend Aussie enduro and off-road racer, female off-road racer Gemma Wilson. Mate, she's a dead set doll and she rides like the wind. So yep, have a listen to the interview with Nugget. And then of course they catched up with the big international dignitary invited to this year's trek, Lyndon Poskett. He's a well-known, accomplished global adventurer, Dakar racer, and also worldwide Norden 901 ambassador. So let's have a look at that. Take it away, boys, and remember how good a time they had. It's pretty clear on the Husqvarna Trek this year in central Queensland.
Dave, look who we got here. This girl's calling me a farmer.
Oh,
out there on the trail.
What's she?
How you going? Well, you must be used to passing a lot of guys out on the track.
I suppose so, yeah.
What about your partner? What about at home? John?
John, yeah.
How does he take it? Who's faster, you or John? Because he can ride. He is good.
No, always me, yeah.
You always do?
Always me.
But you are an Australian champion and a world champion.
Yeah.
So that's I don't take it offensively when I've been beaten by many women. So getting beaten by a world champ, I'll accept. You come past me the other day, which is pretty good. You enjoy the big bike?
I do, actually. It's first time on a big adventure bike. I've had the 701 for a bit, which is really just a big dirt bike in my mind. the
yeah.
ergonomics, like you can sit right up the front of the bike and stuff like a dirt bike.
Yep.
Whereas with the 901, you've got that big tank and you're kind of down in it a little bit more. So this is my first real experience adventure riding on an adventure bike, and it's been a really good time.
Did you turn the clickers back? Because you'd be lucky to be 50 kilos real wet.
No, so I've just got the standard suspension in the Norden, and it's just fully standard. I haven't touched anything.
And it's beautiful?
It's a good time, yeah.
See, I'm not even game to ride the Norden. You might need to borrow some one of my spare tyres. You can do with it, man. No, we've had a cracking time though, haven't we? You've enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. The mixture of riding that we've had has just been, phenomenal. From the single laney, sort of like what I would normally do on a 250 stuff, through to that really fast, those big flowing red roads, and it's just been so good. I didn't think I would enjoy stepping the back end of a big bike out, but it has just been the best couple of days.
Well, Chris Watson's here, he is a world title, the best Australian ever slider. It's a wonder he hasn't given you any advice too, because he's given me a heap. But we got a few little sneaky photos.
Does he?
Yeah, he doesn't mind old heckling, Chris Watson. But we got a few little secret photos of Chris. Don't worry. But you're teaching now. Now you're retired from racing. You're teaching, doing schools.
Yeah. So I finished racing in the middle of 2018.
Yep.
And I run a series of ladies only events. So my biggest one, we had 250 women at the Husqvarna Women's Trail Ride last year, which is pretty awesome.
Wow.
And then I run like the Fox Women's Off-Road Campouts as well, which are coaching events. And then I do lots of just one-on-one and small group coaching. But then as a little bit of a side gig to get away from the business and get away from bikes, because bikes is hard working out in the environment and the sun and the rain and the wind and things. So I also teach at a little school just outside Gympie, Kilkeven State
that's
School.
Cool.
Yeah, about 1 day a week.
I saw you called in the Indigenous school on the way through one of those small towns.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
So my old principal from Kilkeven, he's moved on to Cherbourg.
Oh, okay.
So he's the principal there. So yeah, it was a spontaneous pull in, and we got to meet the kids, and it was a really fun time. Yeah.
Yeah, I never spent much time in school, so I sort of soon past them as quick as I can. But nice chatting anyway, Jenna.
Yeah, you too.
And we'll see you out in the trails. Zooming past me. I'll make sure I get out in front. All right, guys. Over and out.
See you, Jem.
Cool. Thank you.
What's he doing?
Standing on something. He wants something to stand on. You need to pan down, like, give him the same shot. I love it. I need another one, mate.
You got enough? All right, we're ready? Action!
Here we are with Lyndon Foskett, the world-round traveller and Dakar racer extraordinaire.
Yes.
Brother from another mother, I reckon, because we look so alike. How's your time been here, mate?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We've covered a lot of kilometres and loads of different varied terrain, technical stuff for those that wanted it, but those that want a bit more, you can even make more technical. Just a real good old time with good like-minded people. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's the riders that make it. All the different riders, like all the different personalities.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've had people taking fences out. We've had people running off the side. Two
gates.
Oh, same guy.
Because I have to do the trip on one tyre.
Should have gotten a spec saver.
No, we've had a great time. But, so what's on the cards, mate? Tell me, what's on the cards for you now? Are you staying in Australia?
Yeah, so I've got a week's holiday with my family, which is well earned. I've been travelling a lot and riding a lot, so I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm straight back to Europe, but not home. I'm going to Italy to an event called the Hard Alpi Tour, which is another adventure riding event with hundreds of riders. Should be fun. So again on the Norden there. And then rally training for the rest of the year because it's getting close to Dakar time. So there's a lot of riders wanting to get ready and prep for Dakar and have some good hard experience rally racing. So we've got about 10,000 kilometres of rally training in Spain and Portugal.
You reckon you could train me up?
Yeah.
Even an amateur like me.
Sign yourself up. Nugget to Dakar 2024.
Would I get everything in the milk crate?
Yeah, I think you would. Malimoto, you wouldn't even need a Malimoto box. You could just put it all in the crate on the back. Yeah.
And how's the Norden gone?
The Norden's been great. It's
stock standard, they tell me, except for the suspension, which is an option.
Yeah,
and it comes with a bike.
Exactly. And there's a lot of people talking about it on social media, but the bike that I'm riding, the bike that I rode in Iceland, the bike that I'm riding here, it's completely standard Norden 901. It's got an Akrapovic exhaust silencer on it. and it's got the per component suspension, which is available to anybody. So it's a bike that you can go into the shop, buy, upgrade the suspension, and ride it however you want to ride it. I mean, you know, the suspension's not needed for everybody. If you want really good suspension, you want to ride hard and you want to do big jumps and stuff like that and enjoy it, then it's really a real positive upgrade. But if you just like cruising gravel roads and using the bike on the road and stuff like that, the standard suspension will do. And let's face it, there's some bikes with standard suspension that have done exactly the same as what I've done here. You can do it, you just have to back off a bit in certain situations. But honestly, I rode the bike completely standard for a year and it didn't stop me doing anything. I just had to slow down a little bit for some situations where you don't want to go into it too hot.
I saw you turn back today, or yesterday, the other day, when we were in that paddock, and you turned around. Were you fearing that I would tell you?
Yeah, I was, to be honest, I was a bit worried that you'd show me up.
Do you know what I thought? I thought, this bloody pommy twat won't open the gate, because you were in front, you got to the gate and done a Yui. So I went through the gate and then
yeah, that's true.
And then you got to the gate.
I can kind of understand what it looked like, but let me confirm it wasn't like that. I wanted to do some more laps of the track, but we've gone the wrong way. And when I saw the gate, I thought, well, I'm not opening the gate and carrying on the wrong way. So I turned around. Just when I turned around, you popped up. So it looked like I turned around, so you would open the gate.
I'd been chasing you for 15 minutes. I was on the limiter. But and then when I went through, I held it for 5 minutes. You never showed up. So then when I closed it, I tied a little wire up. I thought he won't be able to undo this.
Well, it was another couple of hours before I got there. But what do you think to my new necklace today? I think it's a good idea to carry this.
You've gone through a few tyres, haven't you, this trip? You've been ripping them.
Tyres and tubes. So I've had a bit of a rough time, but yeah, we've always managed to get through, and loads of helpful assistance on the trail, thankfully. Helpful ones, not like Nugget. Nugget just roosted me and carried on.
That's a lie. I don't think I've been in front of you once. We did have a good race there through the mud, though. But it's been a cracking trip. Oh, well.
Cheers, mate.
Well, I got one more.
It was a pleasure riding with you guys.
Yeah,
it's fun.
There's one more. Now, Nugget, you were a fanboy of Lyndon from way back, weren't you?
Mate, I first contacted Lyndon, I think it was late 2012, when he was...
Before Dakar.
Right when he was going up to do Dakar. I read it on the media, and then I said in it was February 2013 after the race, come over and do Think, and I'll sort it, So I was one of the first.
So you probably planted the seed of me doing the Think.
Yeah, I don't think you'd heard about it when I first approached you about it, but So
well, I've got the railway spike now, somewhere in the collection.
I've got a couple. They're like $10,000 spikes, but yours is probably 200 all that way around the world. All right, mate. Take care.
Thanks, Lyndon. Thanks, mate. Thanks.
Now, how much time do we spend? A lot of it dreaming. Mate, I already covered this subject, didn't I, in episode number 1 of the News Desk. But the unicorn, we're still all just drooling, wishing, dreaming that we had the mighty unicorn adventure bike that we're all waiting for. I found out about another one this week. Came out of left field, but I reckon it's got some creds as a possibility. I was doing some research actually on scramblers, of all things, mate. Now, scramblers, are they adventure bikes? Are they not? They're pretty much out there on the periphery. But I was actually looking up some info on a Fantic. It's an Italian boutique off-road brand from Europe, out of Italy, Fantic. And now, they've had a real rich enduro and off-road heritage, and they've come back from the brink. They went bankrupt. They'd been reinstated for about 10 years ago, reinvigorated. They've now got another full range of motocross enduro bikes. They've got mopeds and scooter-type bikes for the local domestic Italian market. They've even got e-bike bicycles. But now I also found that not only do they have this Caballero scrambler that I was looking for information on, but they also had a one-off 450 rally bike. Woo, okay, and the thing looks mint. And you know why? It's because underneath all the dreamy rally bodywork and the big tower, the screen, everything else, it's actually all a Yamaha hierarchy, because Fantic has an arrangement with Yamaha in Europe to do some model sharing, and they have access to Yamaha's 4-stroke dirt bikes to help in the production and design of their enduro motocross and this rally bike. So this 450 Fantic Rally, it looks awesome. And how about this? It was raced in this year's Dakar Rally by a dead set legend of the Italian off-road scene, a guy called Franco Pico. Now, if you Google up his name, man, be ready for some solid reading. He's been going forever, right? He's raced bikes, he's won everything. He rode Dakar on this experimental prototype 450 rally bike Fantic this year, and he dead set finished it again, and it was his 28th finish in the Dakar Rally. And he's, 66 years of age. He's finished it on dirt bikes, he's finished it on ATVs, he's finished it in trucks, he's finished it in cars, and he finished it again this year. And the big quote there from it was a development bike for a future production model, this Fantic 450 Rally. Have a look at it, a couple of images here playing beside me. It's a really towy looking thing. I just again hope that it becomes real news in the not too distant future, and that it might also come into production as another option of the kind of unicorn so many of us are dreaming of. Okay, so from the crazy but true department, let's just have a look at another adventure, and I'd say that in inverted commas, offering that really is from left field. And we go back to, again, the American manufacturer, a Canadian manufacturer, I should say, Can-Am. And this information came to light, again, while I was looking up those electric bikes that we talked about Can-Am having in the episode number 1. They also do these three-wheelers. Now, here in Australia, we get this three-wheeler called the Spider. 2 wheels at the front, 1 wheel at the back, a real road-oriented hybrid between a sidecar, a motorbike, a car, a buggy, whatever you want to call it. But they're really road-oriented. But then I discovered that in the US, they also offer a smaller capacity Riker version of the Spider. Same design, same concept, 3 wheels, engine in the centre. You sit on it kind of like a motorbike, kind of like a PWC positioning. But they have a Riker Rally variant. No way. And it's actually got chunkier sort of off-road biased tyres, a little bit more beefed up suspension. But like, I'm going to show it to you. We'll throw it up here at the news desk, have a gander at it, have a laugh at it, and then I want you to think about one thing. Imagine riding this, driving this, sitting on this, being aboard this, on anything more than a smooth gravel road. Imagine punting it down a twin track. It'd be unreal if the twin tracks were perfectly formed, the perfect width for the front wheel track. But what are you going to do with that rear wheel? It's just going to hit everything. And the first decent hit it cops, I predict a trip over the hangers in a big fashion and a write-off of your brand new Rally Riker. So anyway, it's something different. Let's call it crazy, but it's true. And this one is actually real news. It's actually on showroom floors right now. Can-Am Rally Riker. I don't think many of us adventure riders are going to get very towy about it, but hey, got to have a laugh now and then, don't we? And pity the poor guys that actually do take it off gravel roads. Everybody loves a good rumour. Mate, the world revolves around rumours, doesn't it? Hearsay, gossip, innuendo, all of the above. So let's run through a few rumours that are ripe right now in the adventure bike world. What about this one? Ducati. We've been talking about them a lot lately with that Desert X adventure bike. What about the word that they're coming back into motocross? Well, no, not back in, well, they were in motocross and pure off-road bikes many, many moons ago. Now the talk is they're going to line up for a big tilt, possibly next year, if not 2024, in the World MXGP Championships aboard a brand new 450cc motocross bike. Big call, isn't it, eh? Big call, but Ducati, you know, all these European brands that are obviously finding market reception to their new products, if they're going to expand their model lineups to increase business, the only way to do it is to go into new areas of the sport, isn't it? So stay tuned on this one. A Ducati 450 motocross bike allegedly in the works. Let's see if this rumour proves to be fact or fiction. And speaking of rumours of new motocross bikes, what about the Triumph? Where is it? Again, the sound of crickets. There it is again. We're still waiting to hear. Ricky Carmichael, Ivan Cervantes, they've been doing the development work, so they say, but we're still yet to hear or see anything of actual fact about these new motocross and off-road bikes from Triumph. Again, let's see what we get, fact or fiction, in the near future, hopefully sooner rather than later. Now, another rumour, this one's pretty towy, as I like to say, yeah, more towy than a Roman sandal when I hear this news. comes again from our Austrian friends, the Pira Mobility Group, i.e. KTM, Husqvarna and Gas. Now this one's been brewing up for a long while. The 390 Adventure, mythical. 490 Adventure, equally mythical. Yeah, but there's a few more legs starting to come under this story. It's proving it might be a 490 Adventure, possibly released in 2023. So let's hope it's not too far away. I mean, if it's going to be released in 23, they'll be wanting to preview it in late 22, which is where we're getting to now. The big question is, how will it appear first? In what colour? KTM, Husqvarna or Gas? A little bit of gossip around the traps that it might be in the Gasser colours. So let's see what happens there. Can't wait for that one. There's been a few sort of spy photos shown of that one. Hard to tell if they're legit, hard to tell if they're artist impressions again with action shots. But hey, a 490 Adventure, wouldn't that be toey? And let's just hope it's an Adventure R model. That's the one we all want, an Adventure R version of a 490 single. And speaking of 450 singles, finally in this issue's rumour mill, what about this from Royal Enfield? No, not this Royal Enfield. This is the plain standard old Himalayan. It's been the, what can we say? It's been the vehicle by which 1 million adventures have been kicked off all around the world. Well, look forward to an even better, newer, bolder, brighter, brassier, bigger, more confident and more off-roadable Himalayan in the not too distant future. Word is that there's a new 450 Himalayan coming, longer travel suspension, new chassis, obviously a new engine, a whole lot more off-road bias than the current one that's right here in the shed right now that we've got. Really looking forward to that one. A lot of news has broken about it in the UK in the last couple of weeks. They've even been a teaser video from Royal Enfield, the factory, the company, not again by someone purporting to be the manufacturer. Let's just hope it all comes true again. A Royal Enfield has got a ripper name as a brand. The Himalayan, it's just legendary. And a new, more off-road focused, higher performance model will only just win more friends right around the world for the Indian brand. Again, I'm crossing my fingers that that one is fact, not fiction, and it comes sooner rather than later. Now, if there's something that I really like to do each time we get done with the news desk, it's to sneak off over into the kitchen, isn't it? For a feed of rotisserie chicken. Don't I love my rotisserie chicken? And you know what? I don't even ask where that rotisserie chicken came from. I don't even ask if it's actually a chicken or a cloned chicken. How would you tell? This is what they're getting to these days. They're cloning anything, cloning everything. Chicken, wheat, sorghum, all sorts of things. You just don't even know what you... Well, I mean, what's this plant-based sausage roll, for goodness sakes? What's that all about? Anyway, I don't worry about that. So long as it tastes good and is bad for you, it's probably going to end up on my dinner plate, isn't it? Which is all about talking about cloning in the adventure bike industry. And if there's anyone, any company, any firm that is a dead set masters of cloning, step on down to Mattighofen, Austria, put your lederhosen on, do your Chevy Chase impersonation, and let's talk the Pira Mobility Group again. KTM, Husqvarna, Gas. Now there's a company that is dead set on the main jet when it comes to commercial success. And they're all making that success out of cloning, aren't they? Model, platform, sharing. That's the term in the automotive industry. So in the old days, yep, KTM's been around forever. Had a big revitalisation in about 1992 after the company had gone bankrupt when a guy called Stefan Pira got involved with it. Super successful businessman, industrialist in Austria. And mate, that company is now just going gangbusters. He resurrected KTM from the dead, turned it around on its ear, and then just went looking for more opportunities. Husqvarna was first back in about 2013. He actually bought Husqvarna off BMW. Now, BMW had bought Husqvarna when Husqvarna went near bankrupt. They had a 6-year stab at it. They had all sorts of weird and oddball technology that they introduced into the Husqvarna dirt bikes, which just plain did not work. And mate, they were wrapped to get out of the brand. So along comes Stefan Pira. Yep, I'll take that. Let's do a deal. And look at Husqvarna now. It's nearly 10 years later since it's been under control of the Pira Group. Mate, that brand is just going gangbusters. We've got the new Norden 901. You've got a fleet of Husqvarna motocross and enduro bikes. They've got motard bikes. They've got e-bicycles coming under the Husqvarna brand, like just everything. And yes, the bikes, the Husqvarnas, are based on the KTMs, but with just enough difference to give them differentiation in the marketplace, put them at slightly different price points on the showroom floor. And of course, you're always going to have people that are KTM disciples, they're Husqvarna disciples, all about heritage. Heritage is massive in the motorcycle industry and certainly in the adventure bike industry. So now they've also acquired Gas, Spanish brand. They picked that up in about, 2019, I think it was, so three or 4 years ago. And now hasn't Gas just turned around as well? It's, and at the time you're thinking, oh wow, why do they need another brand for? How are they going to play this? And at the time when they picked up Gasser, it was rumoured about a couple of reasons. One, to get into the trials market, because hey, that's part of Gas's heritage. They're just world leaders in trials bikes and the trials competition. And the other point was that Gas could offer the Pira group a more entry-level, fun, in inverted commas, type brand to just bring people into the fold. And to obviously just, and all the synergies that come with having 3 motorcycle brands, all based off the same model sharing platform, like I said, but with just enough difference to set them apart in the marketplace. Now, you think, okay, how can this all possibly work? And I guess the clearest example is, look at it right now in the single-cylinder adventure bike corner of the world. They've had the KTM 690 Enduro forever, just forever. That's been going, over a decade. Now they've also then had the Husqvarna 701 in the last few years, which was a spin-off from the 690. And kaboom! Now we're all about to climb aboard a Gas ES 700 adventure bike, big capacity trail adventure bike, which again, it's close to a red version of the orange KTM and the white Husqvarna. So how does it all work? How do they make that work? Well, it is. It's marketing, isn't it? Modern day marketing and commercial acumen is what it comes right back to. It's all about profit sharing to shareholders, but also maximising sales and where they can take these different brands. And here's my tip. You kind of thought when Gas said, oh, it'll be an entry level, it'll be a fun type brand for the group. I reckon that's going to change. I reckon that's going to ramp up. And you've seen Gas already. They're already so successful in trials. In the last few years since Pira's got hold of them, they've also much increased their profile in motocross and enduro competition, world championship competition. They're in hard enduro, of course, no questions about that. Dakar, man, Sam Sunderland, he won Dakar this year on a Gas 450 bike. And then now, not only has Gas been sticking their toes in the water in the support classes of MotoGP, but bang, next year, how's this? They're diving right in at the deep end of MotoGP racing. And mate, that does not come cheap. That's a big buck arena, that one. And okay, sure, the Gas MotoGP bike, it's just a flame red version of the KTM MotoGP bike. But look, it's all good promotion for the brand, and what it tells me is they're prepared to spend money to really promote those brands, to gain those commercial returns that are just so vital to making the whole enterprise viable. So I'm making a call now. Gasser is a brand that's going to be going places. It's not just going to be number 3 on the ladder there in Mattighofen, no way. I hope actually, to be selfish for a moment, there's a little bit of talk around that there's a Gasser 450 rally bike coming. Okay, now I'm guessing that's probably just going to be another limited volume, replica of the KTM 450RR rally bike that they only make about 70 of a year to sell to Dakar races. Let's just hope the coming Gas is maybe a little bit more cheaper, production-oriented bike for a mainstream release. Fingers crossed on that one. If it isn't, and if it is just limited volume for next year for races, okay, so be it. But surely that's got to be telling them that there's a space there for that 450 rally bike that we all dream of all the time, while Gasser is just going bigger than 3 Ben-Hurs with a new profile led by their MotoGP activities and, of course, being the reigning champions at Dakar as well. So, yep, that's my call. Gas is going places, and it won't just be number 3 in the hierarchy there at the Austrian KTM group owned by Stefan Pira. Okay, adventurers, time to start wrapping up this show. And all I can say is how much is going on right now. It's just wide open, which is just, how good is it? It's so good, actually. We're going to be riding the Triumph Tiger 1200s, the big mighty 30-litre tanked Explorer. That's going to be absolutely awesome. We can't wait to do that, and that'll be covered again on MADTV in a film real soon. I'm also jetting off down to Victoria, far western Victoria, in about 2 weeks' time to ride the new Aprilia Touareg. Now that's going to be a trick bike to ride. I'm really looking forward to that because, as you know, I've done a stack of miles on the mighty Tenere 700, and this is like a dead set head-to-head competitor for the T7. So I can't wait to ride the Touareg, and that's such a cool name. I love that name. Go and look it up. If you don't know what the heck it's all about, go and look up Touareg. It's got a lot of history with, again, the mighty Dakar Rally and rally and off-road racing in Europe. We've also got the feature film coming up real soon from the Husky Trek, as I mentioned earlier, that the boys did recently. That'll be a full-on nugget special, ably supported by the Dustinator, of course. So look forward to that one really soon. Still working up a test ride of the Himalayan, so look out for that one coming up as well on MADTV. We've still got so much more work to do on the 300 Rally, Little Red Rooster. Speaking of which, look at this. Muffler goodness from our very good friends at Arrow. Look at that tip there, carbon fibre. Feel the lightness in that. Mate, what do you want? What do you want out of an exhaust system? You want less weight, more power, and towy exhaust note. I reckon that'll give us all three on the Little Red Rooster. So we've got more miles to do on that. And I think that'll keep us busy for about the next 4 or 5 weeks or so. So anyway, it's all going on. Thanks again for all your support. And I really do want to say that because on episode 1, that was just awesome. It's like, you know, the thing that Dave always says to me, it's the internet, Clubby. There's no rules, mate. Just do what you want to do and we'll make it work. And hey, it seemed to work, episode number 1. Thanks for all your comments. Thanks for reading AAB magazine. I'm going to give that a shameless plug. And here, if you're overseas, as I say, all our viewers in Albania, we've got a big following in Albania. I know you can't go down to a local newsagent. Do they have newsagents in Albania? Anyway, you can get the magazine digitally. Here's the website. Just remember this, it's real easy. letter I, subscribe, all one word, isubscribe.com.au. Put into the search motor Australian Adventure Bike Magazine. It'll come straight up and you can buy it. It's cheap as chips as a digital edition. It's a really trick hardcover magazine. It's super expensive to buy here in Aussie, but if you get a digital edition, way, way cheaper. And yeah, you can get it from anywhere in the world. So isubscribe.com.au for the mag. And otherwise, I better get out of Dave's shed, let him do some more work back there in the studio, get this piece together, get it on the internet. And hey, let's hope, fingers crossed, we're back for episode number 3 before too long. Thanks for watching, everybody.